My bad, guys. Y'all forgive me, man. My iPad actually died on me. I didn't even charge it yesterday. The iPad actually lasts a long charge, but it died on me. So y'all forgive me. We're gonna continue with this conversation in about 30 seconds. Give people time to switch over and come into this room. I'm sorry about the cutout. Sorry about the cutout, guys. Man, I'm sorry. Yeah, we back, man. There's the Miami. Ain't nothing wrong with having a veteran like that on the roster. But he can't keep up with these young guys, man. Yeah, we back, guys. Sorry about the cutout, man. I'm going to continue in just a second. Sorry about that cutout. The iPad died on me, man. It died on me. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and continue. If you haven't checked out part one of this, please check it out. It's important. And my bad, Brady. It's important, man. How do you feel about Malik Rozier coming to the mini camp? That's what's up, man. Give them a try. You never know what they turn out to be. But again, these same quarterbacks, it's all about giving them everything they need to be successful, and they'll look a whole lot better than many people think, man. Some of these quarterbacks just really need time. They really need protection, and they really need weapons around them to really see who they are. Is it storming? Where are you at, TD? It was. It was. All right, so anyway, guys, like I was saying, you got to have everything that a team needs behind them. Just to quickly recap, we talked about the quarterback position was causing all these teams to fail, and this is a huge secret based off of what Tom Brady has easily told us. He basically gave you the secret, but I've been concluding that for a long time. That's been my conclusion studying the Patriots, and I hate the Patriots. I study them because they know what it takes to win. So I study them, and I see where we drop the ball. And it ain't just them having the best format, but at the end of the day, see what people have to understand is you can't hate somebody so much that you don't even go off of what they do just because it's from them. It could be the best thing for you. You know, and A is going to kill you and B is going to help you survive. But since you hate B, you take A. That's ignorance at its finest. To me, that's ignorance at its finest. A is going to kill you and B is going to save your life and teach you. But since you hate B, you keep going with A. Ignorance at its finest. And I'm tired of it. And I'm not saying any of our fans are like that. I just think a lot of our fans are misinformed and don't understand football. Don't understand. They look at it from a day-to-day, let me see the finished product, but don't know what it takes, what has to go into it to be successful. So Brady basically made it clear, I'm the 19th highest paid quarterback in the NFL, which sucks. He's on the bottom echelon of quarterbacks. This year, I believe Brady's getting about 15, 16 million. I said that. Tom Brady is getting about 15, 16 million. If you put that in relation to Russell Wilson, Tom Brady is saving the team $19 million, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what a team can do with an extra 19 million? Do you know how many good players you can get even at 7 million apiece? Look, what's the least paid position on the offensive line? Y'all tell me in the comment section. Watch this. What's the least? Which position on the offensive line get paid the least amount of money? Y'all let me know. Guards, right? Do you know how much the average guard in the NFL right now making about $3 million a year, $4 million a year? Okay? But do you know how much it is to get an elite guard in the NFL? Y'all tell me in the comment section how much y'all think it costs to get an elite guard in the NFL. Please tell me how much you think it costs. An elite guard, man. Somebody got to answer for me. 5 to 6, 5 million. An elite guard is about 7 million, ladies and gentlemen. 8 million, 13. No, sir. It's about 7 million. Brady saves his team $19 million a year based off of the Russell Wilson deal. 19 million. If Brady had Laramie Tunsil, with that 19 million, he got his 2 elite guards. And you know what? They don't get elite guards. They don't get the 10 level guards. They just need an 8. All they need is an 8. So they spend about $6 million on guards each, even though they spend less. By the way, they spend less. They spend less. But let's say you spent $6 million and $6 million. Now you got a left tackle, two good guards, and you still got $7 million left to play with. They've been searching for a receiver all year. Well, bring him in. All right, go grab him. You see what I mean? Do you see how much more flexibility that three positions can give you on a team? Think about if we had two $7 million guards last year to back up, even if it was Sitton and Kilgore or center. Think about if we had two more that were at least good. Ain't got to be great, but good. Better than what we had. If Jesse Davis and those guys are like a 6 out of 10, imagine us having 8 out of 10s to back up the guys that got hurt. Or let's say a backup defensive tackle behind William Hayes and them boys. A really good one that's decent. Do you know how much different last season would have been, ladies and gentlemen? Even with a Tannehill injury? Do you know how much different it would have been? And people don't understand the competitive advantage the Patriots have just because of Tom Brady's deal. And what did Tom Brady say? Well, I prefer a competitive advantage. So I understand all of it. I understand what it takes as far as the salary cap. I understand what it takes. I'd rather make 19 instead of 34 to have a competitive advantage. Now, it's one thing. We always sit here looking at the players and always, wait, hold on. Back up, man. D1 Chosen, what does that supposed to mean? Because you've been a Fins fan longer? Ha, ha, ha. I ain't been a Fins fan longer than half the people on my channel, bro. Let me see what you're talking about, though. Jets have lost us with 3 different QBs playing for us. Jets have lost to us, I guess, with 3 different QBs playing. I don't know. Cutler, Matt Moore, and Brock. Okay. But yet the Jets going to sweep us. That's not really, that's not reality. That's stupidity. I don't get what you're saying. I'm not understanding what you mean. D1, you got to elaborate, man. Maybe I missed it. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about to Nick Homie. Oh, okay, my bad, man. All right, that's my bad. But anyway, you almost made me lose my train of thought. I'm reading, trying to keep up with y'all too. But we have the formula, man. Brady wants that competitive advantage, man. He wants the competitive advantage. We always give players a break. I'm starting to actually flip sides, y'all. I'm starting to flip sides on this whole player versus organization thing. Because we always say, no, you can't get mad at the player. You're right. You can't get mad at the player for taking their money. But as a member of your organization, you have a right to say you don't like them anymore. As a football player. Doesn't mean they suck. They could be the best at their position. But what you're saying is, I don't like them anymore as a football player. Their number one focus ain't to win. Their number one focus is not to win. Their number one focus is actually to get paid and then try their best to win. And which would you rather? The player that wants to get paid and then try their best to win, or the player that wants to win at all costs? I know that's easier said than done coming from where we're sitting at, because we're not the one turning that money down. I get that. It's still a decision that they got to make, that the fans have a right to choose whatever way they want on how they feel about it. And I'm starting to change my stance. I used to always say, you know what? Go get your cash, because teams ain't loyal, X, Y, and Z, this, that, and this. But as a fan, if you think otherwise, then as a fan, I ain't talking about a business person or anything like that. You mean you don't like them as a businessman? Never said that. I love them as a businessman. But let me tell you something. Do you think when it's all said and done, put it like this, Tom Brady, 60 years old. Russell Wilson, 60 years old. When it's all said and done, as a businessman, who you think gonna really make more money? Let's say Russell Wilson makes twice what Brady makes in the entire career. Now that means Brady, now I'm saying excluding Gisele Bunches, his wife and all of that. Who you think gonna make the most money? Long term. See, business, see, there's different businessmen. You have the businessmen that's trying to come up right now and get their cash right now by any means necessary. Hey, I'm following my business principles. It is what it is. And you have the people who end up wealthy, who aren't thinking about right now. They're thinking about long term. Who's going to make more money? Brady or Russell Wilson? And again, don't get me wrong. Russell should, if he knows money like that, because he got a bigger start. He should. But when it comes to retirement, do you know how much Tom Brady's going to be worth? If you think Gisele Bunches is a supermodel right now, her husband has the ability to possibly closely rival her. This woman worth almost $500 million, if not more. When he retires, just like Shaq made a lot of money in his career, but Shaq ain't made half the money in his career that he's worth right now. Brady got all the rings. They gonna call him for everything. They gonna call Russell Wilson in Seattle. Or the Children's Hospital want to work with you and this and that. Or the state board want to do this and that. They want to see you, Russell. This and that. Russell gonna get called in Seattle. Brady gonna get called around the world. Brady has the potential to be bigger than Michael Jordan without the shoes. Bigger than Michael Jordan without the shoes. I said it. TD, we understand the salary cap, but from a player's point of view, how you expect them to give up a check for a possibility to win, especially knowing how the Dolphins been ran for years. No. See, I want to make sure y'all understand. I'm not knocking the players. As a fan, I can knock them because I want to win. That's my priority. Now, your priority, I respect. I respect your priority as a player, going after your cash. But at the end of the day, the reason why I respect them getting the cash, yes. You know you're drinking water, no juice. Yes, water. The reason why I respect them for going after their cash because truth be told, J. Rose, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. You want to know whose fault it is that they getting paid these big bucks? Here's whose fault it is. The NFL owner's fault. Because they're supposed to also follow a winning mantra. I'm not paying you right now. Quarterbacks shouldn't be getting paid more than about $19 million a year. Now, don't get me wrong. Once again, I'm not talking about what they can get, but based off of the salary cap, they shouldn't be getting paid more than $19 million a year. So if an owner want to goes outside of that and act like this is baseball, he's driving the market for other dumb teams to continue to follow. So I would take advantage of a poor investment as well. That's like somebody saying, hey, I want to sell you this house for $5,000. And they just don't know investments and don't realize 5 years from now, based off of this area, it's going to be worth $2 million. That's I'm going to take advantage of it too. Hey, give me that house. Here goes your $2,000. 2 years later, I'm going to be on the beach talking about, welcome back to TD Fans Talk, baby. I'm going to take advantage of it too. But you got to see who lost the deal and start right there. The owner, the GM lost that deal. They approved that deal. Bad deal. And they keep approving it. Because the fan bases covet quarterbacks so much, and then some quarterbacks actually go through their entire year being great, and we blame every other factor on the team. We always had a quarterback, but we just never could get people behind them. We went through an era of blaming the GM for 50 years. I mean, 50 is an exaggeration, you know what I mean. We went through an era of blaming the coaches we was getting. We went through an era of blaming every quarterback we was getting. We Miami Dolphins fans should know what insanity feels like. We should know what insanity feels like. The teams got to start taking a stand in the NFL saying we're not going to do it. But too many teams do it, and that's what's messing it up for everybody. Not only is it messing it up for everybody, only the smart ones are winning. Only the smart ones winning. And don't you notice it's more young quarterbacks on their rookie contract in the playoffs than veterans? Are y'all talking about that? Or not on a big deal? Think about all the quarterbacks in the league. And the ones that make it to the playoffs. And I ain't talking about wild card week. I'm talking about second round week. Eagles going off of a Nick Foles. What you call it? What's the Seattle Seahawks going off of Russell Wilson, but now they starting those early exits. Cowboys going off of young Dak Prescott. Chiefs going off of Patrick Mahomes. They not touching the salary cap. It's right in front of y'all. It's right in front of you to answer. Right in front of you. What's his name? What was his name? The quote unquote, was it Lamar Jackson, Ravens in the playoffs, small contract in the playoffs. Brady in the playoffs, small contract. Golf, Rams go to the Super Bowl, small contract. Come on, man. I'm naming all these teams, y'all. In the last breed, and then the other teams that the quarterback actually getting money, it's those teams with the quarterbacks that's still on that old deal that's ready to get their mega one. If the team want to stick with them. Let me give you an example. They still on that old deal. Your Ben Roethlisberger, week 1 exit though, because he getting a little more than those ones I just named. Who else? Your Matt Ryans. Who else? I'm talking about your normal, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Rodgers. Rodgers ain't done anything since his big payday. And people just want to put it on Aaron Rodgers. No, I don't blame Aaron Rodgers for that. You got to understand everything around him has changed because of his big payday. Not the person, but the payday, what that cost. That's what I'm trying to show y'all. Think about every team in the playoffs last year. Look at their quarterback and think about how much they're getting paid. More than half of them, half of them on rookie deals just about. What, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Nick Foles, ain't even rookie contract, whatever his backup contract, whatever that is. Golf, who else? Lamar Jackson. I ain't even talking about Houston's quarterback, Deshaun Watson. What? We got 6. We got 6 teams. We already got half of them. Half of them, y'all. Do you get that now? Do y'all see that? Half of the league now. Half of the teams went to the playoffs on a rookie deal, on a small deal. And then I ain't talking about Brady in that. That's 7. More than half of the teams on small deals. Who else? Y'all help me out. Who else went to the playoffs? Who else went to the playoffs? Who else went to the playoffs this young? I know I got to be missing somebody. I'm missing somebody, man. I know the chat behind. I'll wait on y'all. I want y'all help because we at 7 right now. Dude, but this is my whole point. This is my whole point. We just went through 7. We just went through more than half the playoff teams. Quarterback is on a rookie contract. Quarterback is on a rookie contract, ladies and gentlemen. I ain't say the Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Unless I did. Not the Colts, TD. Because all their money is on that offensive line and their quarterback. So their offense powerful. If you notice, they offense powerful, but their defense ain't stop nobody. Their defense can't get it done. So they got a good, solid team, but it ain't built for long-term success. It ain't built for long-term success. Come on, let me get you some water. Oh, well, that's fine. You can steal mine. One moment, y'all. Hold on. Ugh. Put the lid on. Hold on, I will. Here. Okay. Bears. Wow, Bears. Wait, who is the Bears quarterback again? I always forget his name. So you mean to tell me, y'all, 8 out of the 12 quarterbacks that went to the playoffs, Trubisky, yeah. 8 out of the 12 players that went to the playoffs, y'all. Oh my gosh, let me say this again, because I don't want people to question this theory again, because people are going to be like, oh, he don't know what he talking about. Listen, y'all. 8 out of the 12 quarterbacks that went to the playoffs, y'all, are getting less than $20 million or something like that. And most of them on rookie deals getting 7, 8, 9 million. 8 out of 12, ladies and gentlemen. Do I need to repeat that? 8 out of 12. Do y'all see the correlation? Do y'all see the correlation in what I'm trying to show y'all? You gotta have respect for your organization by not signing people on big deals just because you want to be dumb. No, TD. Well, correct me, Bree. Correct me, bro. But you can't sign these people on big deals. The evidence is right in front of you. So the person earlier, when they said it's too early to tell, you can't gauge that. The evidence has been here all this time. The evidence has been here all this time, man. See, Breon says that's just by chance. Why you think that, Bree? Why you think that's just by chance? See, the thing is, people think things are just by chance. So, in other words, you can't put no concrete thing on, no system on anything. So basically, everything is just by chance. No, you got to look at correlations, study it. That ain't by chance, Bree. That is not by chance. Why am I going to say it's by chance if Goff? Look at Goff. Look at the money he getting paid. And let me tell you something. I'm going to base everything off of Russell Wilson's contract because that's going to be the new standard for the quote-unquote off a rookie contract great quarterback to keep him. That's the new standard. Goff saves his team almost $25 million a year, if not more. Goff saves his team almost $25 million a year. Do you know how much better that elevates his team, Bree? That's not off by chance. Most playoff teams have solid defenses. No, Breon, most playoff teams can afford solid defenses. You got to understand why they got solid defenses. Except the Chiefs, because they got all their money on offense, Bree. It all goes back to the money, Bree. The statements you're making are true, but it ain't the root cause. Most playoff teams have solid defenses because they can afford them. They can afford them, Bree. Every statement you made is actually true, Bree, but it's not the root cause. The root cause is the money. You got to be able to afford great defenses. And right now, the biggest disparity, you have to look at the quarterback position on the reason why you're not affording it. Name one of those defenses that don't spend money on the defense too, Bree. And remember, when I say spend money on the defense, don't look for contracts on the defense that are not what they're supposed to be. You got to look for instead of the $2 million contract, all those 5 and 6s and 7s. Better quality players spread out. TD, those guys are young talent playing on rookie contracts. You're making my point. You're right. That's the point. And why does all of those competitive teams have these young quarterbacks on rookie contracts, but then when they get their payday, their team never the same? See, Russell Wilson had a great rookie contract. As soon as he got his money, that team never was the same. Why, Bree? Just to make your point. They could no longer afford what? The Legion of what? They couldn't afford the Legion of what anymore? That started going down when Russell Wilson got his deal. Go look at it. I'm talking about defense too. Those guys are young talent playing on rookie contracts. You're talking about defense though, Bree, but you're talking about some of these teams with defense with high first-round picks on defense. So those defensive players, based upon their peers, when you got the Dolphins, defensive players are on rookie contracts, but they're third-round picks versus look at the Cowboys. A lot of their early-round picks. They got some good guys, some monsters. You want some? Come on. Let me see. So Bree, that whole defensive thing, again, the quarterback situation is allowing the Cowboys to have a really good offensive line. Tell me if I'm wrong there. You pay well on the offensive line, and Jerry Smart, y'all well actually ain't top. It's like top of second quartile, what y'all paying on the O-line. But that's still paying well. But the little bit of money y'all saving, you're putting on the defense, getting these solid players. Name a player on the Cowboys right now that you're like, that is a straight up monster Pro Bowler. in the likes of J.J. Watt, in the likes of a best linebacker in the league. You can't name none. But you know your Cowboys real good, Bree. So you know that, hey, I'm talking about defense right now. Ain't no Cowboy go name a top flight great. You might have one, but we talk about 11 guys on the field. You can't name 2 or 3 on the Cowboys. Because some of them, like you said, rookie deals, but they're higher draft picks, and others are getting good, solid money. If a linebacker, the average linebacker in the NFL making $4 million, just hypothetically, right? Y'all paying 6, y'all got a better talent because you can afford those things based off of what you saving for Dak Prescott. Go look at Dak Prescott's salary. He's saving the team another 20-something million a year. Actually, more than that because he was a later round pick. He was a later round pick. And hey, Bree, and you said Sean Lee. You're right. And how much longer does he have? How much longer does he have? See, you can have one, and then on top of it, forget that. How much Sean Lee make? And based off of what he make, Bree, when did he get his most recent deal? Watch this, y'all. Watch this. If Breon remember and can tell us how much Sean Lee made, and when was his last deal that allowed him to make that? One moment, y'all. I'm fixing my baby. My baby don't eat vegetables, so what I do is buy the puree stuff or take natural fruits and blend them and put them in his almond milk to get some vegetables in them. No, this ain't for you. It's for your brother. You there, Bree? I hope you ain't too busy. If you're too busy, let me know, man. How much does Sean Lee make? Or somebody else can look it up. Your stuff almost done, Carter. Sean Lee makes $6 million. Pick it up. Is Sean Lee the highest paid linebacker in the NFL, Bree? Give it to your brother. So you see what I'm talking about, Bree? You see what I'm talking about? You said, heck no, he ain't the highest paid. $6 million, we know he ain't. But my whole point of the matter is, $6 million, it all goes back to the money, bro. You name the guys on your defense that you're saving money on. You're saving money on. Not only are you saving the money, we know most linebackers in the NFL getting about $4 million. Base pay is $2 million. Yeah, I figure he got a lot of incentives built in his. And that's strong GMing as well by making sure that you make the contracts player friendly and team friendly. Natural remedies in my drink too. But that's my whole point, man. I'm gonna move on and digress from that because that's all I keep trying to show you all is that it's all about the money. And we have evidential proof. Here you go. No, you don't want it? No, but okay, drink your water then. Never mind. So I'm lost, TD. Why you lost, bro? Well, what I'm saying is, Bree, you keep saying that it's because of the defense that those teams are in the playoffs. And what I was saying is, I don't disagree with that, but that ain't the root cause. So it's not the real cause of them being in the playoffs. The real cause is they're able to actually put the money they need into the defense. Because Sean Lee, you get for $6 million. Well, the Cowboys actually ain't that smart with theirs either, if you ask me. And let me tell you why, because they putting too much in certain O-line positions. Because again, you want to fight to have Martin so much that you might pay him $2 million more than what he's worth. And that's your boy on the O-line. You see what I mean? So the Cowboys have a little bit of that stuff too. But the Cowboys also know we got to win now, because if we don't win now, we might be in trouble. Look at what they did. Look at what they did with their draft. Why do they draft 2 running backs in the draft? A 4th rounder and a 7th rounder. Because a lot of these delusional Cowboy fans keep on missing what Jerry Jones said. when he got rid of DeMarco Murray and inserted Ezekiel Elliott. He said when they were saying, oh, why would you do that? You know Jerry Jones defend everything he do. What did he say? You could drive a Mack truck through this line and it's going to be successful. So that's why I don't give Zeke Elliott all these praise. I give him Ricky Williams praise when he literally breaking tackles on almost every play. Holes aren't there. That's when I'll give him the big credit. And Jerry Jones was right. He had what's his name, DeMarco Murray, and everybody was mad when he let DeMarco Murray go. Great running back. Look at the yards he putting up. Man, how would we let him go? And Jerry said a Mack truck can run through this line. And there goes Zeke, and now everybody in Cowboy Nation going like this, like Zeke. My point exactly. But everybody was like, oh, one of the best running backs. No, he behind a good line. We still don't know what he is. We can make assumptions. Truth is, you still don't know who he is. Brady not paid under the table. Stop that. However you want to look at it. And even if he is paid under the table, then Stephen Ross need to educate himself better on paying under the table. How about that? I mean, that still don't change the fact that this is why they win. So do we abandon it and say, oh, he paid under the table, though, so we can never do that and be smart with our books? That's not true. What's happening is you're letting the rest of the league dictate what you do. And I'm talking to every other NFL team that keeps on suffering. You're allowing the rest of the NFL to dictate what you do. Russell Wilson cost $35 million to keep. See, let me tell you this. If a cornerback came out today and he was the best, if Jalen Ramsey hit the free market and Jalen Ramsey, let's hypothetically say Jalen Ramsey had 4 straight years of Pro Bowl, best cornerback of all time status already. Like, gosh, this man done got more picks than Deion, look more flat. Let's just hypothetically say that. And this offseason right here, Xavier Howard done accomplished all the same things, right? Xavier Howard done all the same things. And the NFL says Jalen Ramsey is the #1 cornerback, rated 10 out of 10. And Xavier Howard is the #2 cornerback in the league, rated 9 out of 9. Let's just hypothetically say that was the situation. We could all be sitting here arguing about, man, they need to give they need to give him his $16 million. They better give X his 16. And I'm over here like, no, just give him 13. And that's even too much. Just give him 13 and be done with it. TD, you got to pay the man. And tomorrow, Jalen Ramsey, the #1 guy, gets a deal for $22 million a year. $22 million a year. Here we are arguing over give him 16, and Jalen Ramsey gets to 22 a year. Guess what the fan base does? Oh man, I wonder how much X gonna get. He probably gonna get by 23 or 22. You see how you just went with the narrative that fast? You just automatically changed your argument to 16 and went with, yeah, you got to pay the guy to keep him. Now the Jags get to keep Ramsey. We want to keep X. You see what's happening with the quarterback position? That's what's happening with the quarterback position, ladies and gentlemen. And we're rolling right with it and making an excuse of, you got to pay him, TD. What do? Let him walk? Yes. Yes. If the crystal ball could tell you if you paid him that much, it's going to ruin your team, yes, you let him walk. But TD, this ain't a crystal ball. I just got through over an hour explaining to you the crystal ball. All the evidence that we got in the past. Look at all the quarterbacks off of their rookie deal when they start getting 15% of the team's salary cap. Ain't been the same since they got their contract. And it's all because of the contract. The pieces around them. Just got through explaining the whole thing. But if we don't pay him that money, somebody else will. Omar, you're correct. But the point that I'm trying to make, you got to move your mind forward, Omar. Watch this. If we don't pay him that money, then another team will lose, and we'll have a better chance of winning. Do you get the picture now? Don't worry. See, you're so stuck on losing the guy. What's important to you is whether you lose him or not, versus can you get him for a good deal or not. You see the difference? We're so stuck on the person that we allow the number to move. And we should only focus on the number. Top paid cornerbacks deserve this. And we should be all at home sitting back and all in the media and all on the message boards. Man, I hope Xavier Howard take this 13. That's what the chatter should be. It should never be we should have paid, we should have offered the man more, and now somebody gonna steal him. No, it should be, oh man, I hope X take this 13. If not, then we appreciate everything you did, but bye. That's what it's supposed to be. But people that don't know football and fan bases that just watch games and look at the person that looks good doing it. Oh, X is one of our stars. He's one of our stars. Oh my gosh. Are y'all not tired of having Zach Thomas's balling out with no playoff success? Are y'all not tired of the Jason Taylors of the world balling out and we don't do our justice to help them out? No playoff success. Cam Wake, our most recent example. Are y'all not tired of that? Are y'all not tired of the Marino, who was your first biggest example? He's your first big example. Are you not tired of it? Now we want to make X a 13-year type guy with the Dolphins and be like, man, X has been here for, I hope they put him up in the Raptors. I hope he goes in the Ring of Honor. I hope all of those things, even though the man never won a playoff game. The man never won a playoff game. Do y'all know y'all are paying Rashad Jones $17 million? Well, he hitting us for 24 this year, Bree. That's the cap hit. And I thought we were paying him $19 million. One moment, y'all. One moment. Are y'all there, guys? Y'all let me know if y'all. All right, I'm here, man. I know some people lost the chat, but I actually I got not a text but a phone call, and I had to take that, so it pauses the stream. My bad. 25 mil by June 1st. My goodness. Yeah, and we're gonna take that hit, Bree, because even if we cut him before that, it's gonna be 19 million counted against us. So why not just keep him on the roster if cutting him is going to charge us 19 million? Why not just keep him on for the extra 7? Why not just keep him on? So that's what's going on, man. But the beautiful thing is, Bree, between him and Kenny Stills, and I think Kenny is getting like 11 or 12, those are our highest contracts. Outside of that, nothing else is that high. Nothing else is that high, I don't believe. So we've already purged all our big contracts. And that was the goal with Flores and those guys coming in. Let's get rid of every contract just about over $10 million. See, we already headed in the right direction. Y'all let me know if y'all here. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Just want to make sure we still live. Man, but we already headed in the right direction. That's why I say, will we ignore it or will we keep going? Will we ignore it or will we keep heading down the right path, man? Mark, we can make it happen. Anything is possible. We're right there already. We're already here. Who do we sign? Who do we sign today? I don't know. I got to check it out in a little bit. But yeah, we're already headed in the right direction, y'all. We're good. We done already got rid of all the big contracts on the team outside of Rashad Jones and Kenny Stills. And I can tell you now, neither of them are I don't think neither of them are in the 3-year later plan. Kenny might survive it, but I doubt it. Just depend on what the money look like after all of this, at this current deal. All right, clean house. I love Rashad Jones, but his age and contracts don't fit the young rebuild. Yes, sir. Who do we sign today? I've been live, man, so I'm not sure. There's a lot of people we've been signing lately, but I'm going to get into all of that when the dust settles, man. Trade Rashad Jones for a pick, sign and trade. That's what they've been trying to do. It's no secret. Everybody's been talking about it. They've been trying to trade Rashad, but they ain't got no takers. You got to understand, if they trade Rashad, those teams have to take on his salary. They have to take that salary on. Not only do they have to take the salary on, the Dolphins have even offered to pay some of it. But it's still too much. Still too much. See, y'all think a trade for another player is just going to be the trade for the other player. It don't go like that. His talent is worth his talent. They should just make a swap. It's all about money. Stop looking at the players in the NFL. It's never really been about that. The deal doesn't work because the other team got to take Rashad's contract. We got to take McCoy's. You see what I mean? It's all about the money. Rashad can't help a playoff team right now. He is not totally finished. The problem is all the playoff teams can't afford him. See? You see where I'm getting at? Just like the playoff teams couldn't afford Sue until we let him go, and then they got him for 16. What his dominant value should have been, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying? Sue getting paid $30 million a year by us don't even get us to the playoffs, but him getting paid $16 million, still being dominant, paid $16 million, gets the job done. You see what I mean? So not only are they saving on the quarterback, but they saving on the defensive tackle everybody want. You see, I mean, the evidence is in front of you. So when people say, well, it's going to take time, we'll see. You done lost your mind if you think when Patrick Mahomes get $40 million, he going to put up 5,050 every year. When he get $40 million a year, you done lost your mind. You done lost your mind if you think he putting up 5,050 touchdowns a year. Ain't he supposed to get better with time? Ain't he supposed to even do better? Tell me if I'm wrong. Ain't he supposed to do better? Or is he going to be a Russell Wilson, averaging a triple-double, but it still never get it done? Or is that what's going to happen? They're going to keep on making sure that offensive line protecting them and they offense are putting up points, but never can score enough to win enough games in a row. You got to understand, in the playoffs, you got to, I ain't talking about the wild card round. I'm talking about the teams that don't even have to worry about wild card. To win it all, you got to win 3 games against the best competition. Against the best competition, ladies and gentlemen. 3 games. Do you know how many people can't win 3 in a row? I mean, to be quite honest with you, I only know one person that can do it consistently. You got to win just 3 games. 3 in a row. Ain't it funny how they win? Like look at the Chiefs. We won 7 in a row. Then we lost 1 and we won 4 in a row. And we lost 1. You see what I mean? Oh, we could win 3 in a row. Okay. Now you're playing the best competition, the best coaching, the best all-around teams. So the areas where you had an advantage in, you ain't got so much of an advantage. You still might be better, but it ain't an advantage like that. And you better know it. Since you got any advantage over here, that other team that's average across the board, they got more advantages than you spread out in little areas. You see what I mean? Their guard is better than yours. Yeah, you got the better left tackle because you want to spend that kind of money, but their guards are better than yours. Their defensive tackle is better than yours. Yeah, you wanted to spend the money having the better DNs, but their defensive tackle is better. Way better. See, this is the difference. Their guards are way better. Their defensive tackle is way better on a less money scale. Their cornerbacks are way better. Their linebackers are way better. Why? Because your receivers are not even way better, just a little better because you paid top dollar, but they got above average. You see what I mean? Ain't no position on your team where you way better than them. Ain't no position on your team you way better, but it's several areas they way better. And they're not even elite, but they're way better. That's what it's about. You gotta even these books, y'all. To come down on this, you gotta even these books. TD, y'all are spending a lot of money on your wide receivers. This is true. We are spending a lot of money on the wide receivers. That's why I keep saying Kenny Stills may not be long term. And let me tell you, we're not even, listen, we're spending a lot of money on our wide receivers. Let me tell you why. Devontae Parker's 5th-year option is putting him in double digits. I think like 11 million or something, maybe even 12. Kenny Stills is up there about 11 or 12 million. You know, Albert Wilson is still getting like a 2-year 12 million or something, like 6 per. But we wonder why we got Amendola last year when the Patriots said we'll give you 4. And he said, and then he told them, well, I think this is the first time I'm gonna actually go take my payday. This is the first time I'm gonna go take my payday. I'm gonna go to one of these fool teams that's gonna give me another 3 million than they should. And he got it with the Dolphins. We gave him 7 per. 7 per. I don't know if it was his contract or not, but I might be wrong, but I think his was 7 per, 2 years, 14 million with 9 million guaranteed. So when we cut him this year, he got another 2 million. It was his contract or somebody's that did that. I don't know if it was Gore's or whose it was, where little was left over if you cut him, and we cut him. So, and then on top of it, the Patriots let him go get his money and they still win. The Patriots let their Super Bowl winning left tackle last year go get his money and they still win. Don't matter. They win the Super Bowl and say bye to the left tackle. All pro, ladies and gentlemen, who teams would have been scrambling to lock down for a long-term deal. We found our guy. I'm gonna take it a step further, y'all. If we follow this thing the right way, X or Tunsil might not be on the team when it's all said and done in the next 2 years. If we follow this the perfect exact way, both of them may not be on the team. Now, if we get a little luck and Tunsil says, you know, I ain't looking for just to kill y'all just because I can, but take care of me the right way, then yeah. Then yeah. If Tunsil's agent is talking that, my client ain't looking to break the bank. You know, we know he can go out there and probably get like 18 million from a idiot team. 19, not 19, but 18 million maybe. Set a new trend. Miami Dolphins #1 pick who everybody, he got a story behind him. Miami Dolphins #1 pick who everybody passed up on him. Many believe he should have been the #1 pick overall. They got him at 13, and now they just signed him on a max deal. Look how many teams lost out on that talent. That'll be the story. Y'all never hear stories like that with us, but that'll be a story. That'll be a story. 12 other teams who should have taken him missed out on him because somebody tried to sabotage his draft. That'll be a story. They signed him on a massive deal, 18 a year, something like that. But if Tunsil agent come in and say, I ain't trying to, you know, be ridiculous and disrespect y'all. Give me 14, 15 a year. Let's keep it moving. He'll be a Dolphin. But he might hit that market and teams out there whispering to his agent, man, we got 17 over here waiting for him. And all of those numbers. But watch how many people, if we smart enough to not go past 14 or 15, watch how many people, oh, here we go, more of the same. All we ever do is get rid of our talent. You know why they cry about it, the Dolphin fans? Because they just heard an ESPN analyst tell them that. The Dolphins, once again, cannot keep their own talent. That's what they're going to call it. Well, I'll be glad when they tell me a team that's been winning who keeps their own talent at more than what they worth. I'll be glad when they stop giving false facts. What they say is it's a fact, but it's with the wrong narrative. And we sit there and eat it up and believe it. We eat it up and believe it. And we start crying and yelling. Tunsil hasn't been a franchise left tackle. I would disagree. He's been a cornerstone franchise left tackle. Is it like just like, oh my gosh level, you know, to where like the person in front of him is hitting the ground and he's going on to the next one? No, but he has held his position down and not been a liability at all. At all. See, that's what the Patriots got on their team, a whole bunch of non-liability people. You ain't the most elite player, but you don't break and nobody gets the best of you. 9 times out of 10, you win your battle with the goal of winning 10 times out of 10. 15 million for Tunsil though. And that you're right, Bree, not even that. But I'm also considering, hey, look at the cap going up and things like that. And it's hard to find that cornerstone on the left side. So we understand that too. But the true value is somewhere around 12 and a half. If you ask me, the true value is somewhere around 12 and a half. 12 and a half, man. Flores is going to evaluate talent like Belichick. I agree. But we've been talking about just the theory behind it, which it ain't even a theory. I mean, it is a theory, but it's one that's been tested. So we do I have a conclusion, man. This is what it takes to win. Tyron Smith getting 15. Who he playing for, Bree? Who he playing for? Because I don't be remembering everybody's name and who they play for. Who he playing for, Bree? Let me know real quick while I get some more water, man. Cowboys. Left tackle. But what did I just say a few minutes ago, Bree? That's why I asked who he playing for. I said, well, the Cowboys kind of tripping too, to be honest, because they putting more on their O-line than they need to, than they should. But I understand what they're doing. But at the end of the day, it's not smart. That's why I said earlier in my example, if you want to give Martin 2-3 more than what you should have just to keep him, then that's the choice y'all make. So now I feel the same way about Smith. If you want to give him $2 million more, you see what I'm saying? Some teams go after the O-line, but it still don't work for the long term. Let me tell you why. Because the O-line now, instead of saying you're paying one player 15, 20 million more like a quarterback, the O-line, you're paying the left tackle $3 million more than you should. You're paying the guard $2 million more than you should. That's 5. You're paying the center $3 million more than you should. That's 8. You're paying the other guard $1 million more than you should. Make it 9. Then you're paying the right guard $3 million more than you should. That's like a $12 million overpay on the O-line just to have a great one, because you're going for the protection of your quarterback, which is good. That's why your quarterback looks successful. Dak Prescott, when his line protects him, he does enough to win and not enough to lose, that's all you want in a quarterback, right? But again, that $11 million is hurting your team in other ways. That's why you had to go give up a number 1 pick just to go get another receiver. And truth be told, some people will argue you need more help at the receiver position still. Some people would argue that for the Cowboys. And then on top of it, just imagine when Dak get his deal and Zeke get his deal, if it happens. I'm going to tell y'all now, that's going to be a defining moment for the Cowboys. Are they a smart team or not? If they pay them that crazy money, then it's downhill, Bree. How you had the same player pay him like take for instance, you pay like literally. I don't know, Bree. How much is Dak Prescott getting paid right now, Bree? My point is Tunsil shouldn't get 15 with Smith at 15. No, I agree, Bree. But still, having a cornerstone, I wouldn't mind 12. But then you got these people that don't know football that'll say, what's another $3 million for a cornerstone? It's your team's future. It's your team's future. And Dak gonna want his too. That franchise heading nowhere. Now, I disagree, 420. That's why I keep on saying you got a rule. Last year I said the Cowboys got 2 years to get it done. If they don't get it done, they're in trouble. Now they got 1 year. Because let me tell you what winning a Super Bowl does. Winning a Super Bowl makes a player like Dak Prescott. You see how he said that comment? When they said, Dak Prescott, are you willing to take a hometown discount like Tom Brady? And Dak said, everybody's wife ain't Giselle Bunches. And at the end of the day, if I was Jerry, I'd try to hook him up with somebody, a wife like it. But anyway, do whatever it takes. But but the problem is, hearing that comment means Jerry and them need to understand they're in trouble. Or does Jerry take the same approach that he took with DeMarco Murray? I could put a freight truck behind this line and still be successful. Let me tell y'all something. I don't care if you disagree with me or not. Tannehill is just as good as Dak Prescott, if you ask me. Just as good as Dak Prescott. And I'll even take it a step further and say he can use his feet whenever he used to run just as effective as Dak Prescott. It's just Dak Prescott had one thing that Tannehill ain't had all his time. All his time. Offensive line in front of him. Offensive line in front of him. And I don't care if people disagree about that. Oh, TD compared Dak and Tannehill. How dare him? Yeah, it's easy for you to say that when Dak's sitting behind that great offensive line. It's like those internet bullies. It's easy for you to say what you're saying online when you ain't in my face. But give Dak a bad offensive line. Let me give you an example. What happened when he didn't have a running game and Ezekiel Elliott wasn't playing? People forget the chronology of People forget the timeline for Dak Prescott. People forget the timeline for Dak Prescott. Rookie season, he had everything he needed around him. Everybody, Dak, oh my gosh, Dak, bye Romo, peace. We don't need you. Guess we never did. Everybody flipped. Soon as Ezekiel Elliott went down, what happened, not this year that just passed, but the year before. I lived in Dallas, so I know better than anybody. The whole fan base. Man, Dak actually, I don't even think he the guy for the future anymore. Wow, how can one season take you from, oh, we got our guy, to he might not even be the guy of the future? How can one season do that? Oh, he is what he is. He needs a great line and a great running game. All of them do. But people want to ignore that. See, people base it off of how you look when you came in. And that's the biggest mistake, how you look when you came in. So, what happened last year? Zeke comes back. Dak's there. That's not to mention, remember, Zeke wasn't there at first. Zeke wasn't there at first. Cowboys weren't even leading the division. They were 3 games behind the Washington Redskins in the middle of the season. Zeke Elliott, when he came back, got to get back in form. Next year, you know, they go on a run when everything gets back perfect. They survive some of the injuries and everything. Everything gets back perfect. They go on a run, win the division, and go to the playoffs. And win a first-round game, ladies and gentlemen, against Russell Wilson with a no-defense Russell Wilson. A no-defense Russell Wilson. What good is that? What good is Russell Wilson with no defense? that 20 million you overpaid. Now, I ain't even gonna say 20. That 15 million you overpaid him. You could have put some more help on that O-line and D-line. Now you done got rid of one of your best defensive linemen because of the Russell Wilson deal. So you actually got worse. But anyway, back to the Cowboys. So they go on and win. They go to the playoffs and get to a second round. And lose it at the end. Looks like the team's getting more competitive. Wow. But people forget how the fan base were. Oh, he's the future. All the way to the next season, oh, he's not going to be the long-term answer. He folds under pressure without a running game, and you put everything on him, he can't do it. This is what the fan base saying, not TD. I had that conclusion myself. But I kept telling people, y'all can't blame him. Stop blaming him. That's not his fault. The circumstances changed. Imagine if that was Dak Prescott's rookie year. He might have not survived after his rookie year. The Cowboys might have drafted a first-round quarterback. If he looked like he did his second year, his rookie year. Dak Prescott might have not went there if the first year they had a bum team around him and he looked like that. And the second, he may not even made it to the second year. And that'd be my point on Rosen, y'all. Y'all better give that kid a chance. That's my point on Rosen. You can't go off of 1 year. Ain't no difference from Dak's situation. Just reversed. First year it looked great. Second year, he ain't had what he had around him. And that's why I keep preaching about Patrick Mahomes. How y'all gonna anoint the guy the king of the NFL in the future and this and that when you ain't even seen him under pressure in the one time, ladies and gentlemen? The one time you see him under pressure, he looked worse than Tannehill. That first half of the AFC Championship game, oh my God, and nobody debating with me anymore. I see nobody debating with me anymore. I worked hard to prove my point on that one. I talked about it all the 3 weeks in a row. Matter of fact, longer, because it started around the 14th week of the NFL season when everybody in my chat section kept on talking about we need a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. And I'm like, you don't know football. It ain't got nothing to do with that. That's why y'all keep blaming Tannehill, because you don't know football. Has nothing to do with that. And then I even tell y'all, you see when Tannehill finally had everything he needed around him, the man went like 8-2. And before he got hurt, it was like 4-2 or whatever. Again, you don't know football. And I said, let Patrick Mahomes actually see a creative defense that's not elite, but above average. And let him not have more than 3 seconds to throw the ball, because the man gets 5 point something. 6 seconds, 7 seconds in some cases. We watching the playoff games every round. I'm on my live stream counting 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, 5 seconds. Oh, he threw it right before 6. Over and over and over. Do you know how many mediocre quarterbacks you put in that situation will look great? And then he played the Patriots in the first half. 1 second, 2 seconds. Oh, he's sacked. 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. Oh, negative 19 yards, negative 17 yards, negative 9 yards twice, negative 4, negative 3. 2 passes that were thrown right in the defender's hands, and they dropped it. That should have been interceptions in the AFC Championship game in the first half. Incompletions, throwing off his back leg, hitting the ground. Who is this? Who is this bum? And I didn't feel he was a bum. But I also said, let me be humble and say he's young. He's a growing quarterback. Now, this is more like it. He looks more like a Sam Darnold right now, giving the Dolphins 4 picks in a game or something. He looks like a Sam Darnold right now. Because look at his circumstance. This defense is making his offensive line not allow that kind of time. Oh, looks different now. Wow. See, y'all so enamored off of what somebody's doing now. You need to take some time to look at history and look at the long term. That's why I don't even put quarterbacks in this discussions of greats until they've reached their 3rd contract, ladies and gentlemen. Russell Wilson just reached his 3rd contract. Now we can start comparing him in history. And it's still so much unknown. And that's going to constantly change. Now I'll even waste my time having the conversation, is what I'm saying. You don't put quarterbacks in no all-time conversations. I don't care how good they were for 1, 2, 3, 4 years until they've gotten their 3rd contract. We could talk about this person was great until his career was ended. That's never worth nothing. Let's be honest. This man right here would have been the greatest of all time if he ain't have if his career didn't end earlier. Okay. What really makes people careers ain't what they do early on that's fascinating. It's what they continue to do at an age that they still doing it. Wow. Look at this greatness. Jason Taylor still getting to the quarterback 10 years later. Not, he led the league in sacks for 3 years in a row early on. That's why I said J.J. Watt. I said it 2 years ago. People want to say he's a Hall of Famer. No, he needs about 3 more years of dominance. Then we can have that conversation. If J.J. Watt goes out for the next 5 years with 2 sacks a year, why in the hell they putting him in the Hall of Fame? Because he was just so great for the few that he was in? And I ain't saying 6 or 7 and stuff like that is a few, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. Jason Taylor spent his career getting at the quarterback, being a threat. Zach Thomas spent his career being a leader at the linebacker position. Come on. Dan Marino spent a career doing what he do best, slinging that ball. Cam Wake spent a career. And you can't look at last year, because once again, in a situation where our defensive tackle position allowed teams to double team our ends. Now watch Cam Wake. Watch you be watching Cam Wake highlights in another uniform stretching his arms this year. And you know what? The people that don't know football, you know what they're going to be saying? Well, he didn't do that last year for us because you don't know football. He could have. But our defensive tackle was after the injuries, was so weak that they didn't need help up the middle ever. No team we played against needed help up the middle. Not a single team. They double our defensive ends every time. The defensive end can never get around a corner because the left tackle always stepped outside first. If you swim inside, I got help, so I ain't even worried about that threat. I'm not even worried about the threat of you swimming inside. Yeah, you'll beat me, but I got my back up every time. You're being double teamed every time. That's why people ran 6 and 7 man offensive lines on us. 6 and 7 man offensive lines on us. The center, the guard, and the center and both guards, they were one-on-one with our guys. Well, actually, 2. They were actually when 4 men were coming, because as a matter of fact, every team blitzed us too. They would send 5 at a minimum. So what they were doing, they were trying to create the one-on-one. We would try to send 5 late in the year is what I was trying to say. So what we would do by sending 5 is create a one-on-one up the middle that we never won. One-on-one, 3 players, the 2 interior defensive linemen, playing the center sitting there in the middle. Which one of y'all and I need to help? And then the two defensive ends getting double teamed by the left tackle and an extra tight end. And on the right side by a right tackle and an extra tight end. That's why everybody was running 6 and 7 man line of scrimmages on us. Because they didn't worry about the middle. And they didn't even worry about the outside because they were double teamed. Every time. And if they ran a 6-man line of scrimmage instead of 7, if they had the extra guy on the left, it was only because they were running to the left. They don't need the extra guy on the right. They just need the right tackle to slow them down a little to not get backside pursuit. And we can play action out of that sometimes because we heavy on one side and the linebackers got to come. This all what happened when your left tackle ain't anchor in the middle. It's all what happens, man. Mahomes to Tannehill, he would be comprehend that in his head. Mahomes to Tannehill. Fins up, TD. Shout out to you, man. Please, TD. Every QB can have a bad half of football, but Tannehill couldn't score 30 points in a half. You crazy, dude. I'm not crazy, Ty. Let me tell you why. Everything you just said is correct. Everything you just said is correct, Todd. But again, it's another false fact. Everything you said was factual, but let me show you where it's false. Every QB can have a bad half of football. There's your fact, but let me tell you where it's untrue. You act like Mahomes' play in that first half was because of Mahomes. It's a difference between every QB has bad halves, yeah. But that one wasn't because of Mahomes. He didn't have a bad half because of him. See, that's where y'all get mistaken. Just because I talk about how he looked in the first half, you're forgetting the genesis of what I'm talking about to begin with. The fact that it's not the quarterback's fault that they're doing bad, that things are going bad, and it ain't because of them things are going good. That's the genesis of what I'm saying. So your statement was as if I'm attacking him. No, it wasn't his fault. Mahomes would have carved the Patriots apart if he had more than 3 seconds to throw the ball in that first half. If his receivers were getting off of the bump and run coverage easy. But all of it, honestly, all his woes in the first half had nothing to do with him. It was simply because, no, I take that back. Some of it was him. But most of it was because he didn't have the protection that he was used to. He did not have the protection that he was used to. So I'm not saying it was his fault. But he needs the protection. And they ran into a line that shut that down. But so understand. When they're going bad, I'm not blaming Mahomes. I'm blaming the fact that at the end of the day, he ran into a better defense with a better scheme that shut that crap down. Now, they made adjustments at halftime. And honestly, the Patriots felt like they were in coast mode at that point. Now, all Brady got to do is shoot it out. Because don't get me wrong, if you watch that game, did the Patriots not start playing loose? And what I mean by loose, they weren't sending the extra man. They were 4-man. I said it in the second half. I say, look at them. Look at them. There were times they were sending 3. And Patrick Mahomes had the time he needed to throw the ball. And he was successful again. So when we talk about Tannehill and Mahomes, listen, I'm going to guess and say Mahomes is way better. I'm just going to say that to appease you, okay? But at the end of the day, you don't know. The thing is, you still don't know what Tannehill is because he has yet to have a fully functioning offensive line and everything around him he needs. And everything he needs. Listen, would Tannehill have brought the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game? I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm going to once again appease to y'all and say no. I'm going to act like the people that don't understand what I'm saying and say no, he wouldn't have. But if you can sit here and tell me the Chiefs with the healthy Tannehill would have not made the playoffs last year, again, you don't know football. If you can sit here and tell me the Chiefs with Tannehill wouldn't at least make the playoffs, and if you can sit here and admit that the Chiefs with Tannehill would have made the playoffs, then that's enough said. Enough said. This is my whole point. And I'm going to, once again, tell y'all, we didn't cut Tannehill because of they didn't believe in him. But right now, fresh rebuild, let's get rid of that large salary, that contract. We need a young quarterback with little money on a contract that will allow us to build a great team around him. And then if we have to, after all of that, and that guy ain't the guy, we can go get us a new quarterback. It was all about the money. Let me tell you another reason why it was all about the money. Greer literally came out and said Tannehill wasn't a mistake. I don't know why people keep asking questions about that. Because people wanted to put a blame somewhere. They would come to Tannenbaum and say, Greer, and be like, this offseason, well, after, the failed success of Ryan Tannehill, the mistake made by the franchise, he came out and said Tannehill wasn't a mistake. Because it was never about Tannehill, it was about the money. That's why Tannehill isn't a Dolphin right now, because of the money. Let's be honest, Mahomes has a good line and had the most unbelievable playmakers, Kelsey, Hill, Watkins, and a running back, they let go of. That's why I keep telling people. It's a game of adjustments, Mahomes. Oh my gosh. It's a game of adjustments, Mahomes. Tanny body of work, not even close, TD. You tripping. Once again, false facts, ladies and gentlemen, and TD's going to help you decipher false facts all the time. Todd says it's a game of adjustments. He's basically pointing to, no, they just made great adjustments in the second half. Freaking Mahomes didn't adjust a single thing from what he did in the first half. He didn't adjust a single thing that he did in that first half. The only difference is he had more time. It was the same Mahomes with more time. Adjustments. If you want to talk about the quarterback, it wasn't Mahomes making an adjustment. Mahomes didn't make a single adjustment. He was still the same quarterback back there. Same quarterback. The game plan may have changed, but it wasn't the player that changed. Let's get that straight now. Let's get that straight now, man. So, Todd, what you told you tripping. Let's get that straight. Mahomes didn't adjust. You keep on making it about the player. That game had nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes. It was the situation around him. That offensive line adjusted. And what did they do? Man, you know what, Todd? You must be didn't watch my live stream on that game. It's still up. Go check it out. I conveniently pointed out for you in the second half. Look at them now, y'all. Look at them. They got 5 men on the line of scrimmage and sometimes 6. They are really putting the emphasis on protecting Mahomes now. Look at them in the second half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. See, y'all see what I'm talking about? And go look at the first half. They trying to spread it out and open the offense on New England, trying to Tom Brady New England, trying to 5-man offensive line. No, it ain't going to work like them other bum teams let it work, homie. These are smarter players. These are 8s all across the board. Just because every week you play a defensive end that's a 10 and the rest of them are 6s, you think you about to do that with the Patriots? No, these are all 8s. These are all 8s on the other side. Every week, every single week, the Chiefs defense, the Chiefs offensive line is playing. They playing against one player that's elite and the rest of them below elite, below average. They playing. Listen, they playing Laramie. It's like the flip side of it. They playing Laramie Tunsil with our current O-line before the draft. Every week that offensive line looking at that defense, all we got to focus on is that left tackle. Everybody else, we good. They all 6s. And they run into the Patriots 8, 8, 8, 8. Every man rushing you is an 8. Yeah, they not a superstar because nobody recognizes the 8s. They only want to put the 10s in the media. But they straight up 8s. Straight dogs. Straight 8s. Tannehill is not a franchise QB to build from. No, Chiefs would never made the playoffs with Tannehill. All right, Todd, I'm done arguing with you, man. Done arguing with you. Done, man. Because let me tell you something. If you put Patrick Mahomes in Tannehill's situation, any year where he picked up all those sacks, And let me say this, Todd, because I don't want you to think I'm attacking you directly, okay? But your logic, I am attacking your logic. You mean to tell me if I was to look up every pass Patrick Mahomes threw after 3 seconds, every pass that Patrick Mahomes threw after 3 seconds of having the ball, and I took and I promise you now, if the man had 5,000 yards, I'm willing to bet 4,000 of those yards came from plays that he threw the ball, having the ball more than 3 seconds. Yeah, and I'm going to be generous to you right now and say only 3,000 yards. And if I took away half of those, I'm still going to give him half of them. But he didn't have half of those plays would have never happened. So 1,500 yards would have never happened. About 15 touchdowns would have never happened. And Patrick Mahomes would have had 3,500 passing yards and 35 touchdowns. We would have all been looking at him like we looked at RG3 that year, like we looked at Russell Wilson that year when they were young, like we looked at Cam Newton, who's being threatened right now, how we looked at Kaepernick, how we looked at all those guys. And when we thought, oh my gosh, the next era of QBs are here, we would have still applauded the man. But you would have never been singing his praises like you are right now. So I don't get your logic. It's common sense. It's common sense to say that if, and I'm being generous, 60% of his passes he threw after 3 seconds, it is common sense to say if his offensive line didn't allow him 3 seconds on just half of those, 50% of those, like most quarterbacks in the NFL, it is common sense to say he would not have the stats that he had, and you would not look at him the way that you look at him. So it is also common sense to use the reverse of that. If Tannehill, as much as he got sacked, if you add a possession where he doesn't get sacked half the time, let's give him half the blame on all those sacks. Half the blame is still saying that that's bad. Half the blame is still saying that it's bad for the O-line. But if you give him half of those sacks back, 3.1 second as far as I care, if you give him those, common sense will tell you his numbers would be better and he would have more touchdowns. The team would have less stalled drives. The team would be more successful. That's common sense. Even if he was a bum. If I sat here and conceded to you to say Tannehill is a bum of all bums, if I sat here and conceded to you and say Tannehill is the bum of all bums, even the bum of all bums, if you give them another 10 tries a game, 3 out of 10 is a bum. But if you gave him another 10 tries a game and he converted another 3, he still, from a ratio standpoint, would be a bum, but his numbers would not suggest that he's a bum. His numbers would not suggest that he's a bum. So I keep on urging you to take the player out of it. That's why I know you're looking at it the wrong way when you say, oh, don't compare Mahomes and Tannehill, because you just focusing on the player. And you don't care one thing about what affects the player, what impacts the player's numbers. How about this? If Ezekiel Elliott and Kendrick Drake, right? If we were comparing those two guys, Ezekiel Elliott runs for 1,600 yards this year. And let's say Kenyon Drake runs for hypothetically 1,300. Everybody says Ezekiel Elliott is better than Kenyon Drake. I would rather him all day. That could be a false fact. That's why you got to dive deep in the data, y'all. But what if in that same season, 8 games in, Ezekiel Elliott had 800 yards, halfway to his mark. But what if Kenyon Drake had 900 yards? No, let's say he already had 1,000 yards. He already had 1,000 yards. And let's say he tweaks his ankle, but he's fine. And the Dolphins go out and hire Frank Gore. And now they're splitting carries. And Drake ends up with 1,300 yards, splitting carries, getting half the carries he used to get. Are we still going to say Ezekiel Elliott is better? See, I don't ignore the situations in football, the things that can cause a player to look a certain way. I can't ignore that. I just can't. And when you ignore that, you remove all logic out. You remove fact out of the picture. You have no logic behind what you're saying. Everything you say is based on emotion and not facts, with nothing to support it. And let me tell you, those you can tell who makes their theory off of emotion. When they say things to you like, you tripping, you don't know what you're talking about, you crazy. Versus, TD, I disagree because X, Y, and Z. Come on, man. Come on, man. Numbers don't get emotional, TD. Tannehill is a backup caliber QB. You still talk about Tannehill. Shows me you're still worrying about the person. He can't make throws to win games. Questions, how many comeback wins T Hill? Now, how about I say this to you, Todd? Because me and you just think totally different. And I respect that. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. But how about I'm going to hit you with this and end it for me. You can keep going if you want. But I'm going to say this. Because you just keep on giving false facts. He can't make throws to win the games. Do you know how many of these quote-unquote elite quarterbacks don't have to make throws to win games? Because you know why? They didn't stall on third down. Their team didn't stall on third down because their quarterback had enough time on third down to complete the pass. Their team didn't stall on third down because their team didn't put them in a 3rd and 19 situation on a often basis. Their team didn't stall on third down because on first down, their run game got them 8 yards instead of 2. Their team didn't stall on third downs for many reasons. So when you say things like Tannehill, what'd you say? Tannehill is a backup caliber quarterback. He can't make throws to win games. A game you got to look at in its entirety, and not just because you down by 4 points and you got to be clutch in this moment. I wonder how many times Patrick Mahomes was down. Yeah, he may have had some comeback wins because, once again, he got more opportunities in those comebacks. Do you know how many last game possessions we went 3 and out? Do you know how many first downs? Like the Chiefs will get the ball. They down by 4 with with 48 seconds left. First down, they run the ball, get a 28-yard chunk. Second down, Mahomes throws the ball, gets 7 yards. Next down, they run the ball again and get 13. Do you know how many teams are getting rushing first downs in clutch moments? Do you know how many times the Cowboys run the ball in clutch moments with the clock winding and pick up chunks at a time? But you know what? When that W go across the screen that the team won, all you care about is the quarterback. Just like when we won that thriller overtime game against the Bears. Do you see how, oh my gosh, thank you for bringing me down this road, because I'm really finna just end your whole conversation with this, because we got evidence for the Dolphins last year. Do you remember how the Chicago Bears game, we went overtime? And that's where Brocktober got his name? And I went on a rant telling people to chill out. This game had nothing to do with Brock Osweiler. Brock Osweiler didn't do anything special but throw 3 one-yard passes that went for 60 yards. We ain't got to worry. The O-line, we didn't have to worry about the O-line giving them time because it was a screen. It was out his hand in 1 second. We ain't have to worry about Osweiler throwing a clutch throw because it was literally 1 yard pass. And 3 of them went like 60 yards for touchdowns. And what was the biggest story of the game? What was the biggest story of the game? And the saddest thing about it wasn't even Albert Wilson. Even though he got his praise, don't get me wrong, it was Brocktober. Oh, Brock Osweiler. And I told people, y'all still, man, you're tripping right now. You don't understand what caused him to be able to do that. Look at the elements.
Good one.
Brocktober. But nobody want to talk about late in the game, who drove us all the way down the field? Frank Gore, 22 yards, 8 yards, 6 yards. Nobody want to talk about it was Frank Gore that won that freaking game. Frank Gore, who secured one of those massive blocks for Albert Wilson on the jet sweep. Massive block. Met his guy at the second level. Bam. Albert Wilson. Mack truck hole. Wide as can be. Give it here. Had nothing to do with the quarterback. But that's what you continue to do, Scott. That's what you want more water?
Huh?
Here you go. That's what you continue to do, Scott. Not understand football and know the reason why things happen, why teams are successful, why certain players look successful. Half of y'all would have gave Brock Osweiler a max deal if he had to sign a contract after that game. Don't know what you're talking about in that regards. This is proof right here. Everybody and their mama, Brock Osweiler, Brocktober, oh, it's the Brock magic. Don't understand football, do not realize what really happened in that game. Straight up. Calm down, TD, you right. I get it, it's just I get passionate because the more we get all this misinformed people making conclusions based off of nothing. They don't base their conclusions off of nothing because they don't do no research. They don't understand what it takes to win, what it takes to build a team. They're more concerned about the player than the things that make the player great. Stop looking at the player. Just like Tom Brady, he is great. What makes Tom Brady great? Let's talk about his work ethic. Let's talk about that. Not when he come out on the field, oh, he can make this throw, he can make that throw. Tom Brady couldn't make those throws coming out of college because he was a 6th-round pick. His work ethic, his hard work, his leadership, his this, his that. But I got to talk to people all the time that's arguing with me that don't know the first thing about those things. All they care about is what they see on the field and not how it got there. And how it got there. Or how it can be better. No, man, I'm tired of losing. That's why it's hard for me to calm down. I'm tired of losing. But you know what's worse than losing? Evaluating the reason why wrong every single time. Then you're going to keep doing it. Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over, hoping for a different result. But sometimes it ain't intentional insanity. It's ignorant insanity. And ignorant in the form of not a negative word. Just you don't know better. You're not educated on the matter. You don't know what it takes. You just don't know what it takes. And you feed right into the picture that the media paint. All they got to do is go on every major news station right now, every ESPN, FS1, and say, the Dolphins just cut Rashad Jones, Xavier Howard, just a terrible move. And all y'all singing their praises and backing them up. You're backing them up. And half the people on TV don't even think this way. They don't understand football. They change course. They go with the tide. They go with the way the direction's going. They believed in this 5 years ago, 10 years later, oh, they totally on the opposite side like they never was on the other side. And the crazy thing is they on the opposite side for the wrong reasons, so they still don't understand. They just own whatever winning. They just own whatever side is winning. They don't even know why the Patriots are winning. They lazy. Tom Brady and Belichick. That's lazy. It's bigger than that. You know how many good quarterback coaching tandems there are in this league? They ain't winning. So it makes you say, well, they must be ain't as good. No. There are people better than Brady and Belichick in this league. I really do believe it. But I don't think they're smarter. Or forget smarter, everybody in the organization ain't on the same page as them. Do you know how many great GMs there are that literally struggle to win, or great coaches that struggle to win because their GM don't share the same vision? The general manager don't share the same vision. That's why people always talk about, yeah, but look at Belichick's coaching tree. Look at his coaching tree. He ain't never breathed no success out of it. You don't know football. You can't blame that on the new guys saying they not as good and they got something to do with Belichick. The one thing, another benefit for the Patriots, Belichick ain't just the coach, he's the general manager. So he's in line. He knows what it takes and he's in line with it. Belichick ain't got to deal with a GM that says, don't get this guy or don't pick that free agent up, because he knows what to look for. So Matt Patricia going to Detroit, Matt Patricia could be dealing with a GM that's like, I know you want that guy, but this is my career on it. I need you to take this guy, and it's your job to make him great. And Patricia like, yeah, it's my job to make him great. I'll do everything I can based off of what I do. But this guy never came into this league with great feet. And that's his weakness. I'll try to improve his feet, but why wouldn't we have taken that guy that has surefire feet, hands, and eyes? Just because he ain't as high of a stock. Just because some people would have got him in the 5th round and we went and I wanted him in the 3rd just to make sure I got him. That's why I do say some people reach, but sometimes you can't look at those reaches as reaches. Because when it's all said and done, it wasn't a reach. But once again, everybody just focus on the now. They don't know nothing about long term. They don't even have patience in their hearts. And us as fans, you know where we got it from? Social media. Everything is instant. Everything is instant. I remember a fan base used to understand that a rebuild might take 3 years. And when a team got one great player and another great player, the rebuild's still going to take another 2 years. But in today's world, social media done made us one thing so instant that when we get 2 great players, man, okay, now all we need is this and that. They should go get it now and we can do it now. Impatience. Impatience. The electronic, the digital phase has turned us into these type of people. And the most humble, calm people are the ones who get it. You know, the GM's on the stage, yeah. So, you know, you got to, versus Belichick. He even talks slow, patience. And it ain't to say nothing about him bad, oh, he a slow talker. No, he talks slow because he really wants to take his time in what he says and say it with meaning so that everyone can understand. And you can tell that's what he does in his organization. He don't talk to his team, all right, backs, I need y'all to do this. Yes, I need y'all to do that. No, the keys are, we're going to need the backs to make sure that they do this and the reason why. And he's giving the reason why. He's not in a rush. He's telling them, he's giving the why behind everything. The problem that we all have is that we don't know the whys behind things, but we decide. Let me say that one more time for everyone. We don't know the whys behind things, but we draw a conclusion. Stop drawing conclusions until you know the why. Oh, this person just punched that person in the face. He's a terrible person. That's what we do. But then later on, that other person assaulted that man's mom, kicked his child in the face. I don't know. Some of y'all would change y'all tune. He deserved more than a punch in the face. We're not patient in today's world to know the why behind things. So if you want to understand this team and how it can be better, question why we did the things we did in the past and why we're doing the things we're doing now. Don't make a conclusion, why did we not get Haskins? Instead, ask, why did we get Christian Wilkins? And go to a Flores interview, we picked them up because of X, Y, and Z, and it's going to have a bigger impact on our team overall versus just getting a quarterback because we needed one now. Trust me, if you slow down and you do the whys, The reason these things, why people were making the decisions they're making, you might actually agree with more of them than you disagree with now. I promise you. You might actually agree with more now than you do normally. Serious and easy. That easy, man. Your argument doesn't get better with volume, but it does by people's emotion and trick them into thinking you're right, but you're not. But at the end of the day, BDP, that's up to them to decide, not you. I see what your decision is, and I don't fault you for having your decision. You feel I'm wrong, you're wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and let you dictate the conclusion they come up with. The conclusion that they come up with. And that's another problem in this world today. People want to bash other people to try to change other people's conclusion just to agree with theirs. If you feel that strong about it, go start you a channel and state yours. And when you articulate what you're trying to say, because I don't understand it. I'm trying though. I at least give that much of an effort to try to understand your logic. But my studies and factual input leads me to disagree. But I have yet to get a single fact from you that supports why I'm wrong. I am an open mind, bro. You can change my mind, I promise you. But it has to have facts. I don't go off of emotion. They have to come with facts. And you know why a lot of people believe what I say and they buy into what I say? Because I have facts to support them. I don't come on here just talking about emotion. I may be a fan sometime. Oh, we going to win 16 games this year. We going to the Super Bowl. For the record, TD says that every year. But my people also know that I come back and I say now, putting my analysis cap on, this is how I view it. The potential range. I'm going to be a fan to the death of me. But I feel good about what I do. You know why? I put facts out there and I base my opinion going forward on facts. And what that means is my opinion can change over time because I'm steady reevaluating what I believe based off of new information. But the longer you do it and the more consistent you are, the more you see what you're talking about is becoming more and more factual. There's times I come on my stream and say, guys, remember how I used to feel about X, Y, and Z? I'm starting to think that, you see how I would change what I believed before? Because I got new facts and things to support it. It's all factual, man. I only talk facts. I'm trying to be logical here. It's that simple. And everybody I argue with that disagree, for some reason, they can never bring a fact. I even had somebody, hey man, leave your facts to you. What? Is that how you live your life? Ignore facts? For the life of me, come on, man. Come on. You literally just praised Belichick for his calmness and said those people are more logical. I'm saying that is a carrot. Okay, let me clarify, because I actually, as soon as I read that from you, I could see how that can come off. And that's what I be looking for. If you disagree, I like what you just did. Now you made me say, oh, because you took it the wrong way. When I say they're more logical, the characteristics of a person that's more logical, the characteristics of a person that's more logical, let me add that in there so that you can change the offensive nature of what I said to make it seem like, oh, I'm not logical because I don't believe. No, I'm not trying to say that. What I'm saying is the characteristics of somebody that is more logical has more patience. The characteristics of logical people have more patience. You can go look that up yourself. These things are studied, by the way. Human behavior. That's why I thank God I got a minor in psychology. I went to school for criminal justice. And while I was sitting there waiting to graduate, because I had an extra year because I was 3 credits behind, had 2 classes, senior research and senior paper. But you couldn't take them in the same semester. So the first time, my senior year when I was supposed to graduate, I took senior seminar, 3 credit hours, and then I took an internship. And then the next semester, in my 5th year, instead of just sitting there taking senior research, I took senior research and I started my minor in psychology. And psychology just, oh my gosh, it enamored me. It caused me to use my brain. There is a reason for everything. And you don't know truth until you search for the reason for everything. So that's why I'm always using my brain. And I'm looking at the reason things happen. People get misdiagnosed a lot. I used to be a manager in a call center. Before I got promoted, I was a supervisor. Supervising 11 people on my team. And then 20 new hires. And we used to always say, they get graded on a call. If you say this to a customer, that's a downgrade. And every other supervisor on the floor, you said this to the customer. That's a downgrade. Oh, you keep making the same error over and over. That's a downgrade. They're judging that person by saying they just don't do their job well and they keep getting downgrades for the same thing. They're just not smart. It's a bad hire decision. And not me. That's why I had some of the best results in the company. Because I'm saying, why aren't they following the process? Can they comprehend the process? Do they remember the process? So you talk to them. So what's hurting you from actually executing this every time? I forget. So my brain doesn't say you got to stop forgetting. It says, why do they forget? You know what? Their memory doesn't serve them that well, maybe. So what can I put in place as a great leader to make sure they remember every time? On every call, I want you to use this flow chart next to your computer screen, and you'll never get an error again in this area. They start using their flow chart, 0 errors ever. Never an error on the greeting. Because you got to ask why to everything. You can't look at the behavior. I mean, you can't look at the symptoms of behaviors. You have to attack behaviors, not symptoms of it. This person just did that wrong. They're a terrible person. No, why did they do it? Maybe it was childhood trauma, or now they were raised that way. X, Y, and Z. That's why people are so judgmental in this world. Because they don't look at the whys. Why? Why? Come on, man. Facts over emotions, yes. Oh Lord, I don't think I hurt his feelings. Y'all don't get on BDP. Don't get on him. Don't be insulted to him. Don't try to tease him, because listen, I ain't hurt his feelings. It's just I don't think he's comprehending what I'm saying. I wish I could have had a one-on-one basis with the man, or you can email me. We could talk, and then I could understand. I could talk to you and ask you why, and we can have a more detailed conversation. Remember, why? I can get down to the root cause of why you don't understand what I'm saying. Or maybe, see, let me show you how open I am to prove my point. Or maybe I am wrong. And you can ask me why I believe the things I believe, and I can give you an answer, and then you could throw a fact at me that totally destroys my logic. And I'm like, man, I never looked at it that way. So tomorrow I can come on my channel and say, guys, I got some new facts. Man, let me tell y'all something. Do you see how my mind works? It's not combative. It's not to sit here and really intentionally argue with you. It's to find the truth. And that's all I'm searching for. So if you got a truth that's better than mine, man, to be honest with you, I want to hear it. That's why I'm one of the only people on YouTube that respond to chats the way I do. I'll let a whole stream be about your chats, because I want to understand. I learn more than I give out by reading what y'all tell me. I learn more of what I give out by reading what y'all tell me. But let me tell you the difference. I don't just read it and take it for face value. I read it, I bank it, and I go back when I ain't on the stream and do my research. And it might add to what y'all saying or show that you're wrong. I've never claimed to know everything. But again, in a lot of cases, I feel confident I know a lot more than a lot of other people, based off of the things that come out of their mouth, or should I say chat. Shout out Chris Knows with the donation. Come on, man. I ain't just sitting up here trying to toot my horn and be this mecca of the Dolphins. I'm trying to make sense of it all because I want us to win. And if you don't agree with my sense, preach your own. I'll listen. I listen to everybody. Whether I agree or disagree, I listen to Doug, K Flexen, Dolphins with Dylan, Matthew. I listen to all of them. Half of the time I'll be like, I'll be sitting there listening to them, shaking my head. He gets it. K Flexen, that's what I'm talking about. What he's saying right here. Doug hit it right on the head. But then there's times I'm hearing stuff. K Flexen, man, I don't agree with that because I don't think he's considering this. Crap, I'm mad I don't have the time to respond on here and go back and forth to give my take on it. Oh, Doug, man, you don't like this pickup? He's giving the reason why. I see why he don't, but I don't think he may have considered this. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure those guys do the same thing with me. They should. If they ain't, then, I'm not going to say they got tunnel vision, but it might be tunnel vision. But that ain't the case. Flex in my chats, me and Doug collabs, man. No, that ain't the case. It's not the case. This is what it's about, man. You got this all twisted. I ain't sitting here trying to become the mecca, the god of something. I'm sitting here doing what I love to do and having fun doing it and looking for ways I can make it bigger and better, make y'all more involved, get y'all more connected, doing just major things on this channel, building something from scratch. Doing what I love to do, and hopefully one day it rewards me to a point to where I never have to work another day in my life. Doing what I love to do. And doing it, in my opinion, the fair way. Doing it fairly. And what I mean by that is not enamoring people with my opinions, but enamoring them with the facts that I found. See, and that's another thing. Don't get that mistaken. Don't mistake my opinion from the facts that I found. Just because it's coming out of my mouth don't mean it's my opinion. Some of it is all factual things that I found that I'm pushing forward to you. I ain't know half of the stuff I know now until I started this channel. And if half of y'all knew half of the stuff that I know in my brain right now, you might see the same picture I see. You might see a different picture that's 10 times better. And I urge some of y'all that want to try this, do it. You're going to learn a lot and you might educate me. But I will never sit here and stand for someone trying to make it about me versus the people that listen and follow me. No, I will never let anybody sit here and do that because you got me all the way messed up, all the way turned around. We all good with the back and forth and difference of opinion. But when it's, y'all just buying into anything he say, why are you attacking them? Because they got a different belief and opinion as you. Now that is not going to be allowed on here. I'll let you disagree, call me, know what I'm talking about all you want. Because I'm not judging you. You have a belief that I have yet to be able to comprehend. I might be ignorant to what you believe. But don't stop there and just condemn people if they're ignorant to what you believe. Go on back and do your due diligence as a human and help them understand. Help them. I know it's time consuming, but if you ain't got the time to get into that race of educating people, then don't speak on them. Because this is an open door, man. Email tdfanstalk@yahoo.com. TD, I disagree with X, Y, and Z, and this is why. We have a dialogue. Ask my subscribers. I back and forth with a lot of them a lot in email. Some of them, we done got so far back and forth that we text each other. We WhatsApp each other. We WhatsApp each other. They got more, and some of them got my phone number. I ain't giving it out to everybody because there's some people like you that'll call me all through the night just because you're mad at me. I don't know why. And I know I'm going on a rant, but at the end of the day, I got to make that known. That's not going to happen on this channel. Nobody attacking the people who share the same thought process as me just because they believe what I believe. And not only that, a lot of my channel disagree with some of the things I believe. And we still keep it cordial up in here. So that's all I'm saying. We ain't going with that. We're not allowing that to happen. Everything else, I'm a grown man. I can take everything else. But don't attack the people that's sitting here giving their opinion. But the people, hey, to all my subscribers, ain't no need to attack him either. They have their opinion. The truth is, whatever fight he got in the chat is for me. But I understand when he started attacking y'all. Never mind. Forgive me for saying that because he was attacking y'all too. But at the end of the day, y'all know we above that. We ain't got to do that over here. We don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, it adds value to this channel. When people come in here not giving facts, it adds values to this channel. You know why? I'm able to give facts, and then y'all logical people can sit there and say, gosh, can we get somebody that can actually give him something that's going to be factual to stump what he's saying versus their emotion and they feeling and what they believe just because they believe it? I'm bringing evidence based off of history. We got quarterbacks that's done it and been in similar situations and non-situations that can show you the picture. And we got successes that shows you the difference. Anyway, man, our contracts were killing us, and new and young approach is great for the team. Exactly. That goes exactly into what I'm trying to say. Getting rid of those big, bulky contracts, man. Bill had videotapes on every team in the league. Did y'all read the Spygate report? Exactly. That's another thing. They think it was just to see they plays. No, it's to evaluate their talent too. We got real NFL film of them in practice, how they feet, how they eyes, how their hands look. They ain't gonna be able to afford him. When they let him go, half the teams ain't even gonna know his value. Go pick him up for $6 million. It's that simple, man. Yes, I love the direction we're headed in. I beyond love it. I disagree with you, Frank Gore. Frank Gore won that game. Okay. I agree with you. He put the icing on the cake, but he didn't single-handedly win that game. I agree. No one single-handedly won that game. When I look at it, I'm still not giving the offensive line that much credit other than the running game. The offensive line had a great run game that game. The offensive line had a great run game that week. Osweiler, I give him credit for not making the big mistakes that would cause us to lose the game. I mean, think about it. Just throw a 1-yard pass. He did his job several times. Nothing past 15 yards he can complete. The one deep when the Devontae Parker was an interception. I remember the game because I was actually there. People that almost hurt that game, Kenyon Drake provided nothing on the ground, and then he fumbled the game-winning drive on the 2-yard line. He fumbled after Gore had drove it down even before, before overtime. Gore drove it down, gave us like 30 yards on that drive again. Kenyon Drake hurt it by fumbling on the 2-yard line. Defense played very well. Kiko Alonso created a huge fumble, did the same thing. They were on the goal line. Kiko caused the fumble. Another person, number 24, a cornerback on our team. I tried to forget his name. That's why I don't remember. He was getting murdered. He gave up 3 touchdowns on the left side, all of them 55 yards or more, deep bombs. Because they attacked that. Because our starting corner, I think Xavier Howard was out that game. If I'm not mistaken, somebody was out. A lot of people get credit, but in the clutch moments when you needed it most, Gore 8 yards. See, it didn't have to be 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 6 and Gore got 8. It was 1st and 10. Gore with 8. Gore with 3. First down Miami, move the sticks. You know, even Brock Osweiler, he could have thrown an interception that bounced off of the defender's hand that went into Kenny Steele's hand for that lucky bounce catch. Another one. It was a lot of luck on the team. But that's why I give the most credit to Frank Gore. He was the only one on the team that had a well-rounded, solid game throughout the whole game. Rashad Jones missed the game-winning interception, jumped up in the air, blocked off his chest, and missed it, even though one of his own players was under him, so I get that. Rashad Jones also cheated, tried to come down in the box when you can tell that wasn't his play. He overcompensated and went for the quarterback, didn't even get close, and they got a wide open touchdown, went right where he would have been. I remember the entire game. Remember, I watch every game 3 or 4 times. In that game, Frank Gore made the most impact out of anyone consistently. That's why I say he's the reason. Of course, he's not the reason. It was a bigger reason, more parts than none. But the most consistent player in that game was Frank Gore and Albert Wilson. But Albert Wilson caught the ball on the run on bubble screens against bad defense. There were 2 guys against 3 on the outside, and they were playing the box because of Frank Gore created the linebackers to come in the box on those bubble screens. Go look it up. Go look it up. Go evaluate that whole game. Frank Gore was gashing them 8 at a time, man. He was doing so well, the linebackers sucked in the box. And that's when our bubbles, because don't get me wrong, Albert Wilson went the distance on 2 bubble screens and 1 jet sweep. I don't know if he had 2 and Grant had 1 or Albert Wilson had 3. But it happened in something like that. But I know that we tried bubble screens 15 times in that game. That's what y'all forget. Only 3, 4 of them worked. And 3 of them were for touchdowns. So don't forget that. It's Daddy. Listen, I'll give you a few chips, okay? But don't forget that in that game, we tried bubble screens like 15 times and only like 4, maybe 5 at the most worked. And 3 of them went the distance and the other 2 probably got us the first down. 7 or 8 yards, y'all. We were bubble screening the hell out of them. But look at the defense they were playing. Terrible defense. Terrible defense, man. On bubble screens, that is. They got a corner and a safety out there. Not even a linebacker or a nickel. They got a corner and safety out there on 3 receivers playing a base defense. Man, I just kicked my water over. Crap. They were playing a base defense. That game belongs to Frank Gore. And the saddest part about it is the fact that Gase called a timeout to get Frank Gore rest to come in to finish it, but Frank Gore never came in. Kenyon Drake came in. He could have ended that game in regulation. Kenyon Drake came in. And he fumbled on the 1-yard line, and Frank Gore had to come back in overtime and do it all over again and get us close again. Yeah, waste that water. Prove that is wrong. Not just say it. Hopefully that's what I just did, even in that situation. Now, hopefully that's what I just did. The reason why, see what I did, y'all? The reason why I say Frank Gore was the player of that game, I just listed all kind of reasons. I gave you all the players' pros and their cons in that game of whoever you would have said. And Albert Wilson just did his job catching them little hitches. Catching those little bubble screens and this and that and this, and he did his job. But it wasn't, well, I guess my point is what he did was not a level of difficulty. They had done closed the box, so they brought everybody in the box because Gore was gashing them. So really, when he caught those bubble screens, remember, he didn't catch a bubble screen and go outside. He went in the middle of an empty field and running all the way up the field on each of them. Empty middle of the field. That shows you the defense came down in the box to stop the run because of what Gore kept doing to him the whole game. Gashing them, y'all. Gore was putting that work in. So it just wasn't a level of difficulty for what Albert Wilson did. What he did is put up monstrous numbers, like 180-something yards, 3 touchdowns. Of course, you're going to praise that guy and say he's the player of the game, but you got to look at football for what it is. Think about it. If Amendola goes out wide open and the cornerback never even guards him and he catches 3 touchdowns for 300 yards, but Tom Brady and them the only 3 passes he caught in the whole game, right? The only 3 passes he caught in the whole game, and I'm actually interested. I want y'all to go tell me how many passes Albert Wilson caught in that whole game. That's going to be interesting to y'all. But if he only caught 3 passes in the whole game, all of them were touchdowns, and all of them were 80 yards, about 240 yards in the game, we're going to say he's the player of the game. But we're not going to say Brady completed 25 out of 27 passes, which was 24 passes more than who y'all say the player of the game was. He had 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. You see what I'm saying? Maybe he'll get the player of the game, but that's my whole point. It's situational, man. It's situational. Bill Belichick needs to be blocked up. Frank is correct. There was cheating to a degree. I don't know what you mean by cheating. You believe anything on the internet, Frank. Oh. I don't know what y'all talking about. What up, TD? How you feeling, bro? I'm feeling better, man. Blessed to be here. And I was excited about streaming today. I'm happy that I am streaming. Of course, y'all already know, get to do what I love. But this has been a good stream. I hope people, even though it's long, it was a part 1 that cut out, and this is part 2. I hope people take the time to actually go check out all of it. Cause we talking some good stuff, man. Frank, I'll talk about. But yeah, Spygate report is all facts. It's been proven. Belichick is no better than a street scammer. I ain't gonna say that. At the end of the day, he's still following a plan. At the end of the day, you ain't gotta be the most talented. You ain't gotta be. Listen, that's what I tell people, and I ain't getting into politics with y'all. Y'all ain't finna have me talking about that on here. But I always tell people, people always think that a president needs to be a certain way or a certain thing or have a certain knowledge in something. No, the president just needs to be a leader. And what I mean by that is he ain't gotta know nothing about nothing, as long as he a leader. Because hey, if I don't know nothing about the economy and the stock market, then a president just needs to be able to put a team that knows everything there is to know, and they give him all the valuable information. Oh, but why are these people opposing that? Oh, well, they feel this way, then why do they feel that way? All the president got to do is ask why all day, come up with the fact, and make a decision. That's why you got presidents that's been a politician their whole life but knows nothing about the economy or how to make the economy better and bring jobs. And you have a president who knows about jobs but have no way of how to make social life better. And you have a president that knows about, fighting wars, but they know nothing about, stuff in our infrastructure. It's always something they don't know, but that ain't what you need. You just need leaders, just like football teams, just leaders. That's why it don't matter. These coaches, if you're a leader, you ain't got to be the greatest coach, but you got to be able to make great decisions. Making great decisions. You know how easy it is for Belichick to have 8s on his whole roster? People put so much merit in great coaching. Oh, look at the great coaching. It's easy to call somebody a great coach. And think about it. How do you get your title of great coach? Just winning. Being a consistent winner makes you a great coach. People, they don't talk about great coaches. Do you see how he does this in games and he's able to do this and he's able to do that? And all that stuff really don't exist. It's making great decisions. That's it. That's it. Evaluating all the facts and making the greatest decision. If it's not a slam dunk decision, then you go with the highest probability. Highest probability. It's that simple. Haters hate winners. You ain't said you can never say it any better. Haters hate winners. The problem is they hate them so much they refuse to adopt any winning ways because the person I hate does it. Oh my gosh. Everything in my life around me, that's all I see in today's world. Because the person you hate is delivering a truth, you deny it. You deny it. No, I cannot be a part of that truth because the person I hate is exercising it. Oh my gosh, for the life of me, that is like, it's the worst thing ever. Oh my gosh. And people don't see it. People don't see it. They just don't see it. Oh my gosh. It hurts my feelings when people don't see it because it's like they're painting themselves more just to prove a point that they're not proving and falling backwards even more while they continue to win and succeed. And they wonder why they keep winning and succeeding. Again, how do they keep winning? How do they keep succeeding? Because, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, it all catch up to them. Yeah, at some point, they're going to start losing. They're going to lose worse than anything ever. People think when Brady gone, they're going to suck. Oh my gosh. At a minimum, they still going to be competitive. Who knows? They may not win as many Super Bowls. They may not win as many Super Bowls, but they're still going to be competitive because they got a process in place that they follow, and they will always be successful. When Matt Castle played that whole year that Brady tore his ACL or whatever, they went to the playoffs. Matt Castle looked like he was Brady. Am I wrong, y'all football fans that know football and can remember that? Did Matt Castle not look like Brady? That's the benefit you get when you play around 8s all day, every day. He looked like Brady. And then he goes to another team, and I don't even know who he played for right now. Yeah, they won 11 games, Matt Castle, y'all. And then he goes to another team and get it. Oh, thank God. I'm actually happy for him. He got his payday, boy. He got his big money. He got his big money. And I don't even know who he played for right now. Don't even know who he played for. And they still ignore the facts, and they'll be like, "Oh, Belichick just made the best out of Castle. That's just all coaches. That's why it's not Brady, it's Belichick. Oh no, it's Brady because of this. It ain't neither of them. The whole team is surrounded by eights, and all of those eights look like tens because they around eights. They around eights." And all they need is small little difference makers. Gronk is an 8, but you know what? His body blocks off people. His physical stature allows him to always have the position he needs to catch a ball. His arms are long and big. It's harder to bring him down. That gives him a physical advantage. And all he got to do is catch it. He got all the time in the world to get open. It ain't like he got to run and do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D to get open. He just has to do his job. And if he ain't open, trust me, somebody is, because we all following the process. We all doing our job. And if we do our job, it'll all work. Somebody will be open. Somebody will win their battle, or somebody will this and that. 8s across the board. They can't have 8s across the board to match it. If I'm an 8 on offense and they got a 10 receiver, trust me, one of these 8s out here is beating that 5 they got on the other side. Just do my job. I may catch 0 catches today, but my job is only to make sure that 10 stay with me and don't impact that 8 that got an advantage over that 5. Just do my job. That's why none of their players ever take off to be elite. That's why none of their players have more than 2 elite games in a row, because these 2 games were me. I shine. Now the next week, oh, that team been looking at how to stop me, and that's the way to stop me. Yeah, they ain't stopping me, but they slowing me down, because you can't stop an 8 either. You can slow it down to make them look like a 6, and that's all fine with me, because now my other 8 over there looking like a 10 today because y'all focused on me. Now he got 2 or 3 straight games of looking like a 10. And yeah, the Patriots are winning, but, they need to get back to playing great, well-rounded football. Gronk is a little inconsistent. Sometimes he's great, and then he doesn't look so great. Oh, they stopped focusing on me. Now they putting a base package because it's pick your poison, and now we get 2 of our 8s over their 6s. It's over and over. Same thing. Same thing over and over. And I know I keep going in cycles, kind of different ways, presenting the same thing, but I'm just trying to get y'all to see that. I'm trying to, because when somebody don't understand what I'm saying, I got to put it in every way possible, because one way they will relate to see the picture. One way they'll see the picture. Just one of those ways, and that's all we need is one way, and if they agree, then they agree. If they disagree, I still ain't finding it yet, but we got to move on at some point. But the crazy thing is, as time goes, it keeps getting proven. How long have I been saying this whole thing about Brady? The real reason that they're successful is because they're able to look at Brady's contract. It's able to allow them to have other pieces. I've been saying that for so long, and people have been coming in my chats attacking me. But now today, to start the stream, I let you hear a clip. That's what the first part was about, y'all, if you wasn't here. I let y'all hear a clip of Brady saying it out of his own mouth. Jimmy Kimmel said he should be the highest paid player in the NFL, quarterback. He said, that's a great question. Not to be funny, like, yeah, I should. But he said, I prefer the luxury of winning over the money. And then he said, it gives me a competitive advantage. The man said his competitive advantage is having 8s around him instead of having a few 10s and a whole bunch of 5s and 6s. That's the competitive advantage. And as long as teams are out there, I bet you they be sitting back laughing. Belichick, Robert Kraft, all of them, and Brady, they go out and have fun. They go have drinks at massage parlors and stuff. That was a joke. Hopefully y'all got it. But they go have fun, and they just sit there laughing. Look at these idiot teams of the league. I bet you Robert Kraft couldn't stop laughing when Russell Wilson got his money. I bet you he couldn't stop laughing. I bet you every single time they see a big deal, especially in the AFC East, oh, the Dolphins got it, Dominican Sue, and their number one goal is to get to Tom Brady. Oh my gosh, it's about to set them back another 4 years, just like that. And we see it before it happens, and they don't. They laughing. We see it before it happens, and they don't. Oh my gosh, $30 million for Dominican Sue. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, their defense is gonna be trash. We just gonna continue to dominate on offense because they ain't gonna be able to afford great defensive pieces. outside of Ndamukong Suh. And if they do, we're good enough because we're 8s across the board that even a great defense ain't going to hold us down that much. We're going to hold them more than they're going to hold us because of our offense. Oh my gosh, these Dolphins are delusional. This is just hilarious. Look at the fan base. Look at the fan base. They are so excited for their demise. That's what they're laughing at us about. And the saddest part about it is it's all true. It's all true. We look how many free agents that's about to come and stuff like that, and we all in the comment. I'm on a Facebook Dolphin page the other day just looking at something that scrolled across. I said, oh, let me check this out. All in the comment section. We should trade for this player. They put him on the trade block. He's one of the best, man. I look his salary up. I'm like, oh my gosh, we are just so lost. We're so lost. So lost. When they talk about a player, the first thing I talk about and think about is how much we got to pay and how much should we pay. That's the first thing hit my mind. That's it. That's it. It's it. Y'all talk about he stole other teams' playbooks. Once again, I agree. I agree, but what happened whenever he couldn't steal it anymore? Did it change? See, that was your test right there. So for all y'all that's still holding on to the Spygate thing, Dolphin fans, you might as well let it go. The truth is we use Spygate as, it's almost like your bully, a bully when you're young and you're a kid, a bully keep picking on you and you say something to try to really hurt their feelings because it's the only thing you can say. Well, y'all was doing this. So, you know, it's like being hurt. It's really just, every time we use Spygate as an example, it's about being hurt. Now, at first when Spygate came out, even me, oh, y'all cheaters, y'all Spygate, looking at our stuff. It ain't nothing wrong with that. You should have. But when they start winning after the NFL cracked down on the Spygating, and it didn't matter anyway, trust me, the validity of your argument in Spygate has gone quite a bit. It should be removed from you a little now. They still win.